Alrighty, last round, and it's a pretty good looking hand. So we'll keep it. Opponent's mulliganing. Opponent's playing first. Ghost Fireblade, alright. Pretty good card. So we could open with the Bloodfell Caves. I think we open with the Warrior card. Although, then we can't play our 2-drop Lord. No, actually, we open with the Bloodfell Caves, because then turn 2 we get to do Ancestor Hate Blade, so that makes sense. I'm going to guess Morph card on his turn 3. I know, kind of a crazy guess, but I'm going to guess. Yeah, let's get a couple spells out there. Then next turn, at the very least, we can Outlast, which is nice. We also get to swing with our Hate Blade into a Morph guy, which is also nice. No Morph guy. Well, I admit, I am surprised. Well, certainly not having any problems finding our red source. I actually like Bellowing Saddlebrute, seems pretty good in this spot. So I guess we just play a land, we swing for 1, and then we Outlast. Oh, Winter Flame again? Crippling Chill. Well, I guess should have Outlasted pre-combat, I guess. But that's alright. The reason I didn't Outlast pre-combat is in case he had like a flash creature, I guess, but maybe I need to know this format better. Possibly not even a flash guy to worry about. So, just going to swing with the Hate Blade and then drop the Saddle Brute. Oh, Skull Hunter too, kind of nice. But yeah, we'll just swing. Very good. Play a land and get our big dude out there with no punishment to our life total. Also very nice. He's getting down there on cards in hand, so hopefully this Skull Hunter does some work for us. Especially if he equips this turn. We also have Smite, keep that in mind. And Rush of Battle with straight up 3 warriors on board and another warrior in hand. So this Rush of Battle looks kind of nice for a big swingy turn in the upcoming turns here. I guess in a perfect world he just equips and... but that's not going to do anything for him because... Well, I mean, it only costs him 1 to equip, so it brings him up to a 4-4. But we still get to attack into it with 2 guys. I guess the best play we could hope for is him playing a land and equipping, and then he gets to have 5 lands on tap, so theoretically he... Alright, well now I guess I'm pretty suspicious of a trick, but I'm not too concerned about it. So I think what we do is just swing with our 2 guys. If it's a morph guy that I can kill with smite, I will, yeah. So we'll smite that. 4 blocks. I think getting in 5 damage here is pretty good. We're also setting up for a nice rush of battle at some point. But it's going to be a little bit, I guess. Wasn't able to outlast there either, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. Got rid of a 4-5, which is nice. Because he would have just blocked our guy and prevented the damage and had a nice board state, I think, so. Hopefully whatever this is, Rush of Battle, doesn't care about it. Uh-oh. Hope it's not a dead drop. I guess he doesn't have the resources to do that, so. Alright. That's actually not that bad. Yeah, really not that bad considering we get to do Skull Hunter and make him discard one of his last 2 cards too, so. That's actually pretty good for us overall. So swing in with the Hate Blade. And then we set up for just a beautiful, beautiful Rush of Battle the following turn, which is going to be very brutal. With 4 warriors out for just oodles of lifelink. So setting up nicely here. Alright, let's do the Saddle Brute. And let's do the Skull Hunter. Him discarding is pretty brutal here. 2 cards left in hand, considering our board state as well. And I can't think of a lot of global wipes in Teamer colors, really. And just got rid of a banner, which I guess isn't that great for us, but considering this is just another warrior that got rid of a card in general, I'm pretty happy with it. At least he won't be able to play it and, you know, get value off of it. So we've got that going for us. That guy's not very intimidating. He's got a 2-5. Guess we could theoretically Rush of Battle here, but it's probably not necessary. Well, a Rush of Battle, this becomes 3, this becomes 2. This gets in for 6. He kills the Skull Hunter. I guess it's not worth it. So let's just Outlast. And I think we'll still swing with our Saddle Brute. Just fake like we have something. Alright, pass. That's pretty good though. Yeah, it's actually really good. So now we can do Chief of the Edge plus Rush of Battle. Plus leave up Death Touch even. Well. Oh, he's got something. Bring low on that. It's actually not that bad for us, considering. I almost feel like he would have rather have done it on the Chief, to be honest. But Yeah, this is a big turn for us. I guess he can block the Skull Hunter and trade, but we're definitely going to force that out of him. So let's just rush a battle now. And that's a lot of damage. Plus we still have Death Touch. Theoretically better next turn, but I guess he can block and sack now, which is a bit of an issue. But we're getting in for, what, 9 damage or something? Which is pretty huge. Alright, so he just concedes. So, playing against Temur, this Ghost Fireblade is just a good card. No doubt about it. But he wasn't dead there, so he didn't need to. I guess it's just because he couldn't block anything well, so he decided it was done. Okay, I guess that makes sense. What can I say? Playing Warrior Beats versus this deck. He's got some removal. We've got double feet. We don't have much of a sideboard, admittedly, and we don't have much fixing for our third color, so that was kind of what our weakness was. But I do like this philosophy of just playing a ton of 2-drop beaters and just trying to raid aggro in. And the light red splash has seemingly worked this draft, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, I don't think we have any real sideboard cards. But that's okay. Let's go to game 2 here, see how we do. This is an acceptable hand. We have all 3 colors. Probably going to have to play Skull Hunter as just a bear unless we can draw another creature, but that's alright. It's not a huge deal. I don't feel like waiting for the Mardu Charm, really. Skull Hunter still does plenty of legwork as just a beater. Well, now we don't have to. Now we can raid, hasty raid, which is good. Very good, actually. We had to do Swiftwing into Skull Hunter for full value, so very good. First time I've played this Swiftwing card, so I'm definitely curious. Not that bad of a draw, I guess, but no need for it yet. So let's do the Swiftwing and let's get some hasty in there. If anything, the Swiftwing is actually legitimately good for turning on raid, so I will give it credit for that. But it is kind of amazing, actually, that a 2-mana 1/2 flyer first strike haste is kind of an underwhelming card, considering how many abilities are mashed up on that, you know? Can probably pretty easily get away with the... Oh, well, that's not a big deal. Alright, I think we just Bloodfell Caves plus Skull Hunter this turn. Wow, that was a good draw, too. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. So we just swing with the Swiftwing, especially with that Mardu Charm. That's pretty sexy, too. So we'll swing with the Swiftwing. Play the Bloodfell Caves, gain our life, play the Skull Hunter, make him discard, and then pass. Could have also played the Mountain to get 2 First Strikers out to set up for the Chief of the Edge, but it's not too late. And Mardu Skull Hunter's like, even if he discards a land here, it could be hurtful. Just the Skull Hunter in general, it's just doing its job right now. It really is doing its job. Getting rid of a card in his hand, progressing our board. He doesn't have a good blocker for it right now. We've got a nice setup next turn with Debilitating Injury plus Chief of the Edge or Mardu Charm, so we've got some good options. Getting rid of a banner is good enough for me. Morph guy, not that big of a deal. I think we're just going to injury it. Yeah, we're just going to injury his Morph guy and then Chief of the Edge, and we'll get in for 4. Have a nice progressed board state. I just don't want him to get to 5 and theoretically be able to flip his Morph guy. Because we know he at least has a 4/5. The mono blue 4/5. So yeah, getting rid of that I think is going to be very beneficial, if that is in fact what that creature is. But this is going to put us in a pretty nice looking board state. Thoroughly ahead on the board and still having a nice removal spell at our disposal. Yeah, that's not a bad draw either, so this is good. Let's just let's do our debilitating injury on his morph guy. Not even give him the luxury of a block. And it wasn't what we thought, but it was still definitely a creature that's good against us. So now we'll get our Lord out there and we'll swing for 4. No reason to leave this back to block the prowess guy, since the, well, prowess guy gets prowess. So he found his 3rd land source. He would have been able to flip that guy, but I still think it was the right move to injury it, considering it could have been the... Oh, so he's going to Savage Punch. So I guess I'm kind of going to regret not having Mardu Charm up this turn, but that's okay. Still okay. He had to bust a couple spells here to deal us damage and kill our Chief of the Edge, so it's not even that devastating. He's down to 1 card left in hand, too. We are taking a bunch of damage, I guess, which is a problem, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's not that bad for us, considering he had to use 2 cards to get rid of our Chief of the Edge. He is dealing 9 damage to us, which is huge and significant, but like I said, he used a lot of resources to get rid of our Lord. We're still, I would say, pretty good on the board. Still have a good hand, still got a lot of action to do. We're not going to leave up the Mardu Charm here. We're just going to bash in and then play our 2 guys. Him only having 1 card in hand and a less developed board state makes me feel pretty good. I would say the Swiftwing already did its job. What has it been, like a Lightning Bolt or maybe even 4 damage at this point? It's pretty nice. So we play Seeker and we morph our Canyon Lurkers to ideally either draw fire or... Yeah, because I could leave up the Mardu Charm. I just feel like we've got just enough work left on our opponent where saving the Mardu Charm till next turn presumably makes more sense. Because we can the fact that we can kill 4 toughness creatures is pretty significant. Alright, so it's a good spell to cast. We could have 2-for-1'd him theoretically here, but that's alright. Still not the end of the world. Seeker of the Way is decent, but theoretically we can just Mardu Charm now. Maybe we don't even have to. Now we can just leave the Mardu Charm up and get in for... Well, I guess we can't do both, though, can we? 1 mana short of that plan. Well, I can't... The problem is I can't unmorph this guy and still kill him, so I think what we do is just bash in. And then pass. Leave up the Mardu Charm in case we need it. Alright. No big deal there. Alright, so now I think we just Mardu Charm his Smoke Teller. Just basically saw his own death. I can't think of a single 1-mana spell that would protect him here. Yeah. Alright, well, just dominated this draft with essentially a 2-color deck. I was playing red, but that was a very light red splash. The Warrior Beatdown deck worked pretty well, so hope that helped you guys with some information. These 2 drops were, they played just as good, if not better, than I had hoped they would. Yeah, so so far my theory, 2-drop creatures pretty much just really dominate in this format because of the morph strategy. The morph strategy is so pervasive throughout this format that it's just a very, very good chance that you're going to play against a opponent who does Grey Ogre on turn 3. So if you can put up the pressure with a 2-drop on turn 2, you can really capitalize on cards like Debilitating Injury and just cheap little removal spells like that to get early pressure and early damage in. So that was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you for the next draft.